Hey, everyone, today we're diving into something that's all around us, but we rarely think about how it's made, the humble sheet of paper. Specifically, we're exploring the complete paper mill process from raw wood pulp all the way to the finished product. Whether you're jotting down notes, wrapping a gift, or printing a photo, paper plays a huge role in our daily lives. But have you ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes in a massive paper mill? Stick around because I'm going to break it down step by step, and trust me, it's more fascinating than you might think. By the end, you'll appreciate that notebook on your desk a whole lot more. Let's start at the very beginning, the raw material. Paper, as we know it today, is primarily made from wood pulp, which comes from trees. Now, not just any trees. Most paper mills use softwoods like pine, spruce, or fir because they're fast-growing and have long fibers that make strong paper. Hardwoods like birch or eucalyptus are also used for smoother finishes. The process kicks off with sustainable forestry. Modern paper companies practice responsible harvesting, planting more trees than they cut down to keep forests thriving. Once the logs are harvested, they're transported to the mill, often by truck or train, and that's where the magic begins. First up, debarking. Imagine a giant log rolling into the mill. It's covered in bark, which isn't useful for paper because it can cause impurities. So, the logs go through a debarking machine, kind of like a massive drum or a high-pressure water jet that strips off the bark. This bark isn't wasted. It's often burned for energy to power the mill or turned into mulch. Clean logs are then chipped into small pieces about the size of poker chips using huge chippers with spinning blades. These wood chips are the building blocks of pulp. Now, the heart of the process, pulping. This is where we turn those chips into a mushy slurry called pulp. There are two main methods, mechanical and chemical pulping. Mechanical pulping grinds the chips against stones or uses refiners to separate the fibers physically. It's energy-intensive, but keeps most of the wood's lignin, that natural glue holding fibers together, resulting in pulp for things like newsprint. But for higher quality paper like office paper or books, we use chemical pulping, often the craft process. Here, the chips are cooked in a digester, a massive pressure cooker, with chemicals like sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfide at high temperatures around 170 degrees Celsius. This dissolves the lignin, leaving behind cellulose fibers, which are the key to strong paper. The byproduct? Black liquor, a smelly mix that's recycled to recover chemicals and generate energy. Fun fact, the craft process gets its name from the German word for strong because it produces really durable pulp. After pulping, we have this fibrous soup, but it's not ready yet. Next comes bleaching if we want white paper. Unbleached pulp is brown, great for cardboard, but for bright white sheets, we use oxygen, hydrogen peroxide, or chlorine dioxide to whiten it without harming the environment as much as older methods did. Mills today are super focused on eco-friendly bleaching to reduce pollution. Once bleached, the pulp heads to the beating or refining stage. This is like kneading dough. Mechanical beaters or refiners fibrillate the fibers, making them softer and more interlocked for better strength. Additives come in here too. Fillers like clay for smoothness, sizing agents to make the paper less absorbent so ink doesn't bleed, and dyes for color. It's all mixed into a stock slurry that's 99% water. Yeah, paper starts as mostly liquid. Now, the exciting part, forming the paper sheet. This happens on the paper machine, a piece that can be over 100 meters long. The slurry is pumped onto a moving wire mesh screen called the Ford-Drinier wire. As it travels, water drains through the mesh by gravity and suction, leaving a mat of fibers. Vibrations help align them evenly. At the end of the wire, the wet web is about 50% water and transfers to a felt belt for pressing. Pressing squeezes out more water using heavy rollers, reducing moisture to around 40%. Then, drying. The sheet passes through heated cylinders, sometimes up to 40 of them, evaporating the remaining water until it's just 5 to 8% moisture. This is where the paper gets its final thickness and strength. Imagine a giant steam-heated roller coaster for paper. But we're not done. Finishing touches make it usable. Calendaring rolls the paper between polished rollers to smooth it out, giving that glossy or matte finish. For coated papers, like magazines, a layer of clay or pigments is applied for better print quality. Finally, the massive rolls are slit into smaller widths, cut into sheets if needed, and packaged for shipping. Phew, that's the core process, but let's talk sustainability because paper mills have come a long way. Modern ones recycle up to 80% of their water, use renewable energy from biomass, and minimize emissions. In fact, the paper industry is a leader in recycling. Over 60% of paper in the US is recycled, and mills often blend recycled pulp with virgin wood pulp for efficiency. Innovations like digital monitoring and AI optimize every step, reducing waste. One cool example: some mills use enzymes to break down fibers more gently, saving energy. And did you know that making paper from wood actually helps combat climate change? Trees absorb CO2 while growing, and sustainable forestry locks that carbon in products for years. So, there you have it, the complete journey from tree to sheet. Next time you hold a piece of paper, remember the incredible engineering and science behind it. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe for more behind-the-scenes looks at everyday wonders, and drop a comment. What's something else you'd like me to explain? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.